Raptor and I will call all the action from St. Louis.
I'm sorry, Mr. Brown. It's the other James Brown.
The other James Brown?
Yes, sir, the other James Brown.
There is no other James Brown, only Universal James. Wow! I feel good. I knew that I wouldn't. I feel good. I knew that I wouldn't. So good. So good. I got you. Wow!
And here's a three attempt at the buzzer.
So good. So good. But I got you. So good. So good. But I got you. It's March Madness on CBS. Ow! I feel good.
How great is it to have the Godfather on our opening. Hi, everybody. I'm Pat O'Brien. Welcome to the road to the Final Four. We're down to our Elite Eight, and I'm joined by the two hardest working men in show business. Mike, don't bother with my brackets anymore. Francesa, and Digger, I pick them as I see them. Phelps, gentlemen, ready for a big day?
Sure are. Big day.
Coming up at 3:38 Eastern, Florida State and Kentucky will tip off the regional final in Charlotte. Dick Stockton and Al McGuire are there to set the scene for you.
Thank you, Pat, and welcome. And welcome to the Charlotte Coliseum and the Southeast Regional Finals between the Florida State Seminoles looking to get to the Final Four for the second time, and Kentucky trying to get to the Charm Circle for the 10th time. And it was a year ago that Kentucky's hopes were crushed by Christian Laettner and Duke in the regional final. They weren't expected to get there last year. They are expected to get there this year. Hi, everyone. Dick Stockton along with Al McGuire, and Kentucky has gotten off to 3 sensational starts in the tournament thus far. Behind Rick Pitino, they have crushed their 3 teams and gotten off to these kind of starts. Now, if you're Pat Kennedy of Florida State, what do you do, Al McGuire, not to fall prey to the same story?
Well, I believe if I was Pat, it's a 5 or 6 minutes game. It's up to that first timeout, whether it be a commercial timeout or whether you call it. You must leave part of yourself in that court. You must play Big D. Don't change your offense. Can't let them score from three-point land. You must be in the game within the 5-minute mark. Otherwise, it's going to get too much positiveness to the Wildcats of Kentucky.
Edwards, Dobard, Sura, Cassell, and Ward, 3 guards for Florida State. Mashburn, Prickett, and Dent the center with Ford and Brown at guard. And we understand that Charlie Ward is suffering from flu-like symptoms. He is the steadiest of the 3 guards. There is Charlie Ward, who hit the big free throws in overtime for Florida State. So Kentucky will be in white and Florida State in the red, and it's controlled by the Seminoles. And Dobard takes the first shot of the game, and here come the Wildcats. Dale Brown inside. Dent is fouled by Doug Edwards. The officials working this regional final: Jerry Donahue from Havertown, Pennsylvania, Tom Rucker from Bloomfield Hills, Michigan, and Jim Stupin out of Cypress Hills, California.
They didn't want to put him on the foul line for a 2-shot foul. They want to use up a couple of fouls, but don't put him on the foul line. So they started off on the wrong foot.
Kentucky reached a 26-point lead before 10 minutes had elapsed in the first half against Wake Forest. And Pat Kennedy, yesterday in the news conference in front of the media, seemed to be pumping up his team to the team and perhaps to himself.
Yeah, it was kind of reverse psychology. He was trying to say, hey, we're good. We know we're good. We're playing a tough conference in the ACC. We've taken on Duke and North Carolina twice. Never mind Wake Forest.
But this may be a different kind of defense than he faced during the regular season.
Well, he has the right offense. There's a touchdown pass.
Sura, and Ford takes it away from him. Sura lost the dribble. And Dale Brown hits a 3 to start the game. Kentucky hit the first 8 3-point baskets against Wake Forest on Thursday, and it's 4-0. Sura, in your face, comes right back from Florida State.
The Seminoles are going over the top of the pressure by the Wildcats.
Dale Brown feeding inside to Jared Prickett, the freshman from Fairmont, West Virginia.
They're going to break a man down again. There he goes. Here's the pass.
Sura.
Touchdown. Great pass.
Sura is fouled by Travis Ford. So we already have seen one of Pat Kennedy's strategies for breaking the Kentucky trap.
Rick Pitino's going to have to adjust to that. It's too much of a chippy down the other end. Plus, they'll get in foul trouble. But they can't get much foul trouble because they've got a 10-man rotation against a 7-man rotation for the Noles.
Rick Pitino can throw the numbers at you. So Sura goes on to the line to shoot 2. And this is Florida State. It's amazing that they survived against Western Kentucky, considering that they were 18 for 38 from the free throw line in the semifinal on Thursday.
He's just now set the norm for foul shooting. Travis tried to get a piece of Sura. Sura broke through it. Good foul there. Stop the basket.
Sura starts off by making them both. Travis Ford and Dale Brown in the backcourt. Brown, the only senior on the starting team for Kentucky. Tipped away and a steal.
There they go again.
Cassell gets it to Sura. And we're tied at 6.
Right in your face basketball. Teams that are pressed don't like being pressed.
And Bob Sura has scored all 6 Seminole points.
He's capable of getting 30 or capable sometimes struggling getting 8.
Ford misses a 3. The rebound by Prickett. And his shot is blocked by Edwards. Florida State coming out inspired in the opening minutes.
They got 3 more minutes to keep it even, to get their confidence before that first commercial.
Sura, the second leading scorer in the ACC behind Rodney Rogers of Wake Forest. Averaged 20 a game. Ward and Cassell, the 3 guards.
Never thought I'd say in my life, Dick, that the first 5 minutes determine the game, but it does in this one.
Might have been a deflection on that 3-point attempt by Ward, but it's still Florida State ball, and Cassell throws up an air ball. This is where the Seminoles are undisciplined with that kind of a shot.
That was terrible shot selection at that time.
Ford with a long one. Travis Ford, who had 5 3-point baskets on a 10 for 11 shooting night in the semifinal, gives the Wildcats a 9-6 lead.
Here comes the glue. Here comes the guy that sets the tone for the team.
Probably the favorite for the Heisman Trophy. Quarterback of the football team. Usually Florida State's the heavy favorite on the gridiron, but they're the underdog today in the regional final.
Wildcats solid man-to-man, over-aggressive.
Cassell goes right around Mashburn, and losing it out of bounds was Dobard. He had a chance for it, so it'll be Kentucky ball.
Dobard got to keep his head in the game. Junior college transfer.
And if it weren't for Dobard, who can run hot and cold, Florida State would never have survived against Western Kentucky. He had a terrific game.
They dodged the freight train.
Here's Mashburn. Brown gets a good screen. Misses a 3, and it's tipped in by Jamal Mashburn, who had all 23 of his points in the first half on Thursday. Kentucky stops the long pass, and a 5-second violation called against Florida State, turning it over to the white-shirted Wildcats.
Pat Kennedy's saying to the referee, you got to give a count. You got to count 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with your arm. The ref was not moving his arm.
But Kentucky found an answer to the long touchdown pass. Brown inside to Dent. And the rebound taken down by Edwards, and it's picked up again in by Mashburn.
Need a score this time down.
13-6 Kentucky. Edwards, the big man, brings it across. Inside, Dobard with a fine turnaround. Rodney Dobard, who had 16 points and 13 boards against Western Kentucky.
Big thing early here is no 3-point goals. They got 2 already.
Jared Prickett. And a up-tempo game in the opening minutes. Less than 4 minutes gone by, and it's 15-8 favor the Wildcats.
Prickett doesn't play like a freshman.
Slapped away by Ford. Dobard misses, and Prickett will rebound, and here comes Kentucky. They're on a 9-2 run right now. And a 3-point shot missed by Ford. Dent saves it, and Ford is fouled. And Ford is fouled. That'll be on Edwards, his second personal foul. Doug Edwards fouled out of Thursday night's game. He's one man. Florida State can't afford to lose.
I'm paid to buy the high-volume copies. I don't want to have to worry about them. The corporate line from Canon.
It's simple. If our copiers are working or people are working.
High-volume copying systems so reliable, you don't have to think about them.
All I want to know is it keeps copying, sorting, stapling. End of story.
The corporate line from Canon, the #1 copier company, and the new
highest resale value in its class. Now you get all this Buick quality, comfort, and elegance at a special anniversary price. The 90th.
Florida State. They got to stay on the defensive board, Florida State, and put a body on the guys from Kentucky.
Kentucky 2 of 5 from three-point range. Florida State not into the act yet. And a whistle away from the ball. Florida State with 2 team fouls, picking up number 3 right here. And that'll be against Dobard, so the big men have all 3 of Florida State's fouls in the opening minutes, 2 on Edwards.
Trying to post up Mash this time.
Prickett working against Sura has a big height advantage, and he stepped on the line and will go the other way. So Florida State again will be facing the all-court press.
They look down court to release one person, then bounce it in. There it is. Someone has to get in the middle.
Off the hands of Cassell. Florida State lucky there. 2-on-1, and they go inside to Dobard, who makes no mistake this time.
Good decision by Prickett that time, not the foul.
Well, the long pass has been taken away by Kentucky, so Florida State trying to find other means to bring the ball up. Trailing by 5.
Florida State moving, extending their defense, not giving a three-point shot.
Mashburn guarded by Dobard, and a spinner by Jamal Mashburn, and he's gotten Kentucky off quick in all 3 NCAA games coming into this one, and he's 3 for 3 today. Cassell, Dobard, tipped away, and it's Brown with the rebound. Here's Dent from the baseline, and Kentucky leads by 9. Again, they've opened up a pretty good margin in the opening moments of this regional final. Sura with a 3-point attempt. He's been their big 3-point shooter, and now Florida State is 0 for 2. And Ward diving for the ball, and a foul is called.
Called on Travis Ford.
That'll be his 2nd foul. 2 on the point guard for Kentucky, Travis Ford, and 2 on Doug Edwards, the big man for Florida State.
Kentucky can afford to lose Ford, but no way can Florida State afford to lose Edwards.
Roderick Rhodes, the freshman from Jersey City and a superstar in high school who hadn't been playing well but performed well with 8 points in 15 minutes the other night against Wake Forest, has come in along with Andre Riddick, the backup center. So Riddick sends Dent to the bench for Kentucky.
I'd move Ford down low. I put Ward right now into the pivot. Try to pick the 3rd one on Travis Ford, because he's the head of the club. You cut off the head, the body dies.
Already you can see where Kentucky's bench a factor. Edwards goes right around to Kentucky Wildcats, and Doug Edwards, the go-to guy on the Seminoles, cuts the lead to 7. He's the best big man, the most valuable player Florida State really has had since the days of Dave Powell.
You're right, he's not a center, he's a strong forward.
Rhodes is called for the offensive foul.
Rhodes has to learn to warm up first before he gets into his offensive arsenal.
First substitute of the game for Florida State is Derek Carroll, the 6'7" freshman from Columbia, South Carolina, who had 9 points against Western. And Bob Sura goes to the bench. Sura has scored the first 6 points of the game for State. And Jerry Donahue calls an official's timeout. It may have to do with where Florida State will inbound the ball. And now
It's white ball,
Kentucky
underneath, offensive.
So violation, they had to hold a spot on the inbounds pass, which they did not. So Kentucky gets the ball back as a result. Just under 14 minutes to go in the first half. Roderick Rhodes is fouled. Edwards was in there. Let's see who gets called for it. Edwards and Dobard. It'll be the second on Dobar.
He just played the ball off his back. Rhodes has unbelievable athletic ability. I am making a statement. It's not a while when I can see Digger, my partner, laughing when I say this, is that someday Rhodes, this guy right here, will make you forget MASH. Now that's a tough statement, because MASH is all everything. Could be player of the year this year.
And he'll definitely be an outstanding pro. He has the entire package, that's obvious. But Rhodes misses the free throws. And so the Seminoles with the ball trailing by 7. Edwards and Dobard each with 2 fouls. Cassell gets a 3-point basket. He was 3 for 14 against Western Kentucky. And so Florida State needs a good start from Sam Cassell, one of the 3 seniors in the starting lineup for Florida State. Riddick is fouled.
Ooh, that's the 3rd on Edwards, I think. He's going to Pine City.
Edwards has committed 3 fouls. And if you looked at the starting 5 for Florida State, the last man who they could afford to lose would be the man who's going to the bench now.
As you said earlier, he's the go-to guy. Doesn't show much emotion. But down low, give him the ball. He's going to get a shot each time.
He's replaced by Byron Wells, another senior, 6'10" from Tampa. Andre Riddick on the line shooting 2. 5 team fouls against Florida State. Riddick has not been a good free throw shooter during the regular year, under 50%.
Game plan by Florida is not to allow MASH to have the outside shot.
21-15 in favor of Kentucky. They have led all the way. Scored the first 4 points of the game.
Coach Wooden said basketball is a game of not being fast, but being quick. There you are.
Heel attempt by Roderick Rhodes. Quick hands, and he really came out of nowhere. He wasn't even guarding Ward.
The problem with Rhodes this year, he doesn't realize as a freshman that he has 3 more years.
Dale Brown will check back in for Kentucky, and going to the bench is Travis Ford.
Watch him off his defensive man there. Reach in.
So Ford goes to the bench. He has 2 fouls and 3 points. So the backcourt now is Brown and Rhodes. Big team out there. Alley-oop to Dobar from Wells, the other 6'10". Dobard is guarding Mashburn. Dobard playing with 2 personal fouls, and it's out of bounds. Still Kentucky's ball. Florida State better watch out. Edwards on the bench with 3 fouls, and Dobard has 2 right now, and he still is on Jamal Mashburn. Tony Delp, 0-0 into the game as the backup shooting guard working against Ward. Rhodes passed up the outside shot, goes to the hoop, and Kentucky is claiming there should be goaltending, and I think Donahue had a 2 up there.
Watch this play by Rhodes. He moves up to his defensive man, gets the shot off. The ball is in the cylinder. It should be 2 points plus 1 foul.
And it is. Goaltending is called, so credit Roderick Rhodes with the basket and Byron Wells with the personal foul. 6 now against Florida State, and their next foul will result in the 1-and-1 for Kentucky. Roderick Rhodes, who was the MVP of the Holiday Festival in New York as a freshman for the Wildcats, and he gives Kentucky now a 23-17 lead. Patino motioning, stay back.
He's keeping 1 man back as a free safety, so they can't throw the touchdown passes anymore.
24-17, correction on the score. Wells gets it back inside to Dobard. Rims the hoop, crashing it is Cassell. Made a nice play, but threw it into the hands of Mashburn. Couldn't help himself, but Sam Cassell with good hustle at the end line for Florida State. Go inside to Andre Riddick. And that foul will go against Kentucky inside.
Good move by Andre that time. See what Kentucky does. Going down the court, anyone that can post up will post up immediately. Kentucky will come down with 2 passes, kick it into the wing, then punch it into the pivot.
Jamal Mashburn Mashburn picks up his first foul of the game.
May I help you?
Oh, I got right through. Yeah, here's what I need.
4 tickets.
I need
2 tickets. How many tickets?
2 tickets, 7, 8 o'clock, 5.
Center up.
Yeah.
That will be fine. Thank you.
Right.
When tickets for the largest concert tour ever held in North America went on sale, Ticketmaster relied on Sprint's 800 service to do the job. Hey, if Sprint can handle all this, it can certainly work for you, too.
Today, 2 airlines.
Your smooth-running engine is a torture chamber, and under these grueling conditions, only one leading motor oil in every grade meets the world's toughest requirements for viscosity breakdown. Castrol. Castrol provides maximum protection against viscosity and thermal breakdown. So use Castrol. Why make things tougher on your engine? Castrol GTX, engineered for today's smaller cars. Now get a free 24-ounce Castrol Super Clean when you buy a case of Castrol GTX.
Dean Witter believes every investor's success story is unique. From getting in on the ground floor to getting all the way to the top, Dean Witter can help you make it every step of the way.
We measure success one investor at a time.
Dear Midas, my car was making a terrible squeaking noise. You said...
You don't need new brakes. The squeaking noise is caused by brake dust.
Such honesty is refreshing in these times. Yours truly, Frank J. Rutter.
To celebrate Buick's 90th anniversary, we proudly introduce the 90th anniversary LeSabre. LeSabre has a proven reputation for quality and the highest pre-sale value in its class. Now you get all this Buick quality, comfort, and elegance at a special anniversary price. The 90th.
Florida State. They got to stay on the defensive board, Florida State, and put a body on the guys from Kentucky.
Kentucky 2 of 5 from three-point range. Florida State not into the act yet. And a whistle away from the ball. Florida State with 2 team fouls, picking up number 3 right here. And that'll be against Dobard, so the big men have all 3 of Florida State's fouls in the opening minutes, 2 on Edwards.
Trying to post up Mash this time.
Prickett working against Sura has a big height advantage, and he stepped on the line and will go the other way. So Florida State again will be facing the all-court press.
They look down court to release one person, then bounce it in. There it is. Someone has to get in the middle.
Off the hands of Cassell. Florida State lucky there. 2-on-1, and they go inside to Dobard, who makes no mistake this time.
Good decision by Prickett that time, not the foul.
Well, the long pass has been taken away by Kentucky, so Florida State trying to find other means to bring the ball up. Trailing by 5.
Florida State moving, extending their defense, not giving a three-point shot.
Mashburn guarded by Dobard, and a spinner by Jamal Mashburn, and he's gotten Kentucky off quick in all 3 NCAA games coming into this one, and he's 3 for 3 today. Cassell, Dobard, tipped away, and it's Brown with the rebound. Here's Dent from the baseline, and Kentucky leads by 9. Again, they've opened up a pretty good margin in the opening moments of this regional final. Sura with a 3-point attempt. He's been their big 3-point shooter, and now Florida State is 0 for 2. And Ward diving for the ball, and a foul is called.
Called on Travis Ford.
That'll be his 2nd foul. 2 on the point guard for Kentucky, Travis Ford, and 2 on Doug Edwards, the big man for Florida State.
Kentucky can afford to lose Ford, but no way can Florida State afford to lose Edwards.
Roderick Rhodes, the freshman from Jersey City and a superstar in high school who hadn't been playing well but performed well with 8 points in 15 minutes the other night against Wake Forest, has come in along with Andre Riddick, the backup center. So Riddick sends Dent to the bench for Kentucky.
I'd move Ford down low. I put Ward right now into the pivot and try to pick the third one on Travis Ford, because he's the head of the club. You cut off the head, the body dies.
Already you can see where Kentucky's bench a factor. Edwards goes right around to Kentucky Wildcats, and Doug Edwards, the go-to guy on the Seminoles, cuts the lead to 7. He's the best big man, the most valuable player Florida State really has had since the days of Dave Powell.
You're right, he's not a center, he's a strong forward.
Rhodes is called for the offensive foul.
Rhodes has to learn to warm up first before he gets into his offensive arsenal.
First substitute of the game for Florida State is Derek Carroll, the 6'7" freshman from Columbia, South Carolina, who had 9 points against Western. And Bob Sura goes to the bench. Sura has scored the first 6 points of the game for State. And Jerry Donahue calls an official's timeout. It may have to do with where Florida State will inbound the ball. And now
this white ball,
Kentucky
underneath, offensive.
So violation, they had to hold a spot on the inbounds pass, which they did not. So Kentucky gets the ball back as a result. Just under 14 minutes to go in the first half. Roderick Rhodes is fouled. Edwards was in there. Let's see who gets called for it. Edwards and Dobard. It'll be the second on Dobard.
He just played the ball off his back. Rhodes has unbelievable athletic ability. I am making a statement, it's not a while when I can see Digger, my partner, laughing when I'm going to say this, is that someday Rhodes, this guy right here, will make you forget Mash. Now that's a tough statement, because Mash is all everything. Could be player of the year this year.
And he'll definitely be an outstanding pro. He has the entire package, that's obvious. But Rhodes misses the free throws. So the Seminoles with the ball trailing by 7. Edwards and Dobard each with 2 fouls. Cassell hits a 3-point basket. He was 3 for 14 against Western Kentucky. And so Florida State needs a good start from Sam Cassell, one of the 3 seniors in the starting lineup for Florida State. Riddick is fouled.
Ooh, that's the third on Edwards, I think. He's going to Pine City.
Edwards has committed 3 fouls. And if you looked at the starting 5 for Florida State, the last man who they could afford to lose would be the man who's going to the bench now.
As you said earlier, he's the go-to guy. Doesn't show much emotion. But down low, give him the ball. He's going to get a shot each time.
He's replaced by Byron Wells, another senior, 6'10" from Tampa. Andre Riddick on the line shooting 2. 5 team fouls against Florida State. Riddick has not been a good free throw shooter during the regular year, under 50%.
Game plan by Florida is not to allow Mash to have the outside shot.
21-15 in favor of Kentucky. They have led all the way. Scored the first 4 points of the game.
As Coach Wooden said, basketball is a game of not being fast, but being quick. There you are.
Heel attempt by Roderick Rhodes. Quick hands, and he really came out of nowhere. He wasn't even guarding Ward.
The problem with Rhodes this year, he doesn't realize he's a freshman and he has 3 more years.
Dale Brown will check back in for Kentucky, and going to the bench is Travis Ford.
Watch him off his defensive man there. Reach in.
So Ford goes to the bench. He has 2 fouls and 3 points. So the backcourt now is Brown and Rhodes. Big team out there. Alley-oop to Dobard from Wells, the other 6'10". Dobard is guarding Mashburn. Dobard playing with 2 personal fouls, and it's out of bounds. Still Kentucky's ball. Florida State better watch out. Edwards on the bench with 3 fouls, and Dobard has 2 right now, and he still is on Jamal Mashburn. Tony Delp, 0-0 into the game as the backup shooting guard working against Ward. Rose passed up the outside shot, goes to the hoop, and Kentucky is claiming there should be goaltending, and I think Donahue had a 2 up there.
Watch this play by Rhodes. He moves up to his defensive man, gets the shot off. The ball is in the cylinder. It should be 2 points plus 1 foul.
And it is. Goaltending is called, so credit Roderick Rhodes with the basket and Byron Wells with the personal foul. 6 now against Florida State, and their next foul will result in the 1-and-1 for Kentucky. Roderick Rhodes, who was the MVP of the Holiday Festival in New York as a freshman for the Wildcats, and he gives Kentucky now a 23-17 lead. Patino motioning, stay back.
He's keeping 1 man back as a free safety, so they can't throw the touchdown passes anymore.
24-17, correction on the score. Wells gets it back inside to Dobard. Rims the hoop, crashing it is Cassell. Made a nice play, but threw it into the hands of Mashburn. Couldn't help himself, but Sam Cassell with good hustle at the end line for Florida State. Go inside to Andre Riddick. And that foul will go against Kentucky inside.
Good move by Andre that time. See what Kentucky does. Going down the court, anyone that can post up will post up immediately. Kentucky will come down with 2 passes, kick it into the wing, then punch it into the pivot.
Jamal Mashburn picks up his first foul of the game.
May I help you?
Oh, I got right through. Yeah, here's what I need.
4 tickets.
I need
2 tickets. How many tickets?
2 tickets, 7, 8 o'clock, 5.
Central.
Yeah.
That will be fine. Thank you.
Right.
When tickets for the largest concert tour ever held in North America went on sale, Ticketmaster relied on Sprint's 800 service to do the job. Hey, if Sprint can handle all this, it can certainly work for you, too.
Today, 2 airlines share one vision: to join the world together as never before. Announcing the global alliance of U.S. Air and British Airways. Now, there are no boundaries.
There's the Accord with air, automatic, and ABS for 19,700.
Come on.
And then there's the Grand Am with all that for 5,000 less.
Grand Am just makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
It's affordable. Drives great. Sporty.
It's sporty.
Monthly payments will fit. We get free 24-hour roadside assistance. Besides, we like the Grand Am better anyway, right?
Yeah. Let's get a salesperson.
Yeah.
Kansas won at Indianapolis, beating Bob Knight's Hoosiers 74-69. That was way back in December. This is a different affair today.
It's going to be a good ball game. If Henderson was back full, it'd be the best baseline in college ball. IU against the best backcourt, the Jayhawks of Kansas.
Bob Sura is checked back in for Florida State. He scored 6 early points and then got a breather inside to Wells. Double teamed, out of bounds, and he lost it. Tried to get the pass to Dobard in the corner, but Dobard wasn't there.
That time, Kentucky sat back, looked like a 2-3, and they say, welcome to my trap, the spider to the fly. And once you stepped in there, they're into that defensive trapping.
Doug Edwards with 3 personal fouls will come back in the game, replacing Byron Wells. So Pat Kennedy, I don't think he's worried about foul trouble. I think he wants to do it when he can and hang in there here in the first half. Travis Ford replaces Delk for the Wildcats.
They might be going to a Mickey Mouse defense to protect Edwards with 3 fouls. Is it a Mickey Mouse? Yeah, it looks like a triangle. 1, 2. Yeah. Yes, a triangle. Man-to-man on Mash and man-to-man on Travis Ford.
Here is Brown for 3. He's got it. Dale Brown with his second 3-point basket and the third for Kentucky.
That baseline, that triangle has to get out there quicker to stop the 3 points.
Wildcats have opened up their biggest lead of the game, 10 points. Not quite as big as they've had in their first 3 games of the tournament, but big enough. And Rhodes is called for the personal foul. That'll be the second on the freshman. There are those leads that Kentucky struck against Rider, Utah, and Wake Forest. But right now, they're leading by 10.
That last foul was committed by Rhodes. Too much hands out in the open. Against Kentucky, what I do is have one man bring it up so the refs can see the action.
Rodney Dent and Jared Prickett are back in for Kentucky. So right now, they have their starting lineup on the floor. Sura with a fake on Brown and a pushing foul. That'll be the
Dale Brown, too much hands on him.
Brown's first personal foul and the 16th foul against Kentucky. Each team has 6. There's the shooting thus far, and Kentucky once again out to a brilliant 59% start.
It's 1-4 set.
Sura doesn't drop for him. Dent rebound, and Prickett winds up with it, but he was stepped on the line. So Florida State still has the ball.
Bad shot that time by Sura. He went against the grain. His back foot caught the line here. Watch when he brings it down. See the back foot in the line. Good blow.
Charlie Ward will come in, and Sura, who was in briefly, sits down for the second time in the game.
Well, they don't want him to get out of control. You've got to set him down every couple of minutes. He doesn't know the difference between a good shot and a bad shot.
Cassell for 3. He's got it. Second 3-point basket for Cassell. He's got both of them for the Seminoles. Maurice Robinson is in their lineup right now, so it'll be Robinson, Dobard, and Edwards, and Carroll up front.
Boy, they're back to the solid man-to-man.
Ford rims a 3. Prickett keeps it alive to Dale Brown. He walks. Rick Pitino said this Kentucky team has the best half-court defensive prowess of any team he's ever coached. Not to mention the best depth he's ever seen.
Well, what they do, they show you so many different faces. There's the alley-oop again.
Jared Carroll on the long pass. So what happened? Kentucky had stopped that maneuver by Florida State off the trap. Now they went back to it.
Well, what Coach Pitino does is every now and then he'll adjust those defenses tiny little bit.
They fired inside. Dent is pushed, and that'll be the 17th foul against Florida State, so it'll be 1-1 on the line for Kentucky. Sam Cassell, arguing that call, picks up his first.
Ball players, let the coaches work the referees. You guys leave the refs alone.
Tony Delk will replace Dale Brown. Brown goes out having scored 6 points, including 2 3-point baskets.
Here goes the touchdown pass.
From the guy who has thrown the touchdown passes, Charlie Ward, the Heisman Trophy candidate. Dent misses the front end, and Dobard the rebound. And Kentucky now with its 7th foul will send Florida State to the line to shoot 1-1.
Kentucky fans that time wanted the foul on Dobard for throwing his elbow against Delk.
Sura comes back in for Florida State. Hardly recruited. Last year was the ACC Freshman of the Year.
Now watch the throwing of the elbow when he clears it. Now there's the elbow. See the elbow there? Wasn't intentional.
And here is Dobard on the line. 65% free throw shooter. Delk committed the foul.
Usually left-handed ball players are better fly swatters than right-handed ball players.
Bill Russell, Dave Cowens, some of the guys in the pros that we've seen. Tell you what, Florida State has certainly upgraded their free throw shooting. They're 4 for 4 in this game after struggling big time. And on the turnover, it was Ward who caused it, a 2-on-1. Here's Sura. And Florida State is on a 9-0 run. Down by 1. Steal. Ward puts the Seminoles in front for the first time today.
Teams that press don't like being pressed. Force Kentucky into a timeout.
Kentucky led by 10, but in 1 minute and 6 seconds, Florida State has erased the lead and has their first advantage of the ball game on an 11-0 run with 9:17 to go in the first half. Here's Dale Brown. He has hit 2 3-point baskets thus far, and Florida State takes it again. Let's see the play starting with Charlie Ward. What a spark he was in this sequence.
This is really a scramble up and down. Beautiful alley-oop that time to Sura. All timing. Warden gets back now. He anticipates the steal there. Clears it. Finishes it up. Here comes live. Dobard missed the chippy underneath.
They had a 2-on-1 and Dobard missed the layup. Kentucky coming back. 28-27 in favor of Florida State. Again, a 3-point basket for Dale Brown as he spotted up for his 3rd 3-pointer of the game.
The Wildcats don't tighten. That's their game from 3-point land. This guy likes to shoot from out there, too.
Sura with a driving layup. And the score is tied at 30. It is our 2nd tie of the game. And once again, firing for a 3 is Dale Brown and missing from the corner. Cassell saves it, but Prickett has it for Kentucky. Mashburn.
About time they got him in the game, Dick. Get him in the game.
He has scored 6 points. No foul. Prickett missed from the corner, and his follow-up is good. Pat Kennedy is really upset at the no call by Jim Stupid.
Well, ball players should put bodies on the Kentucky guys and keep them off the boards. There goes another touchdown pass by maybe next year's Heisman Award winner.
Rodney Dobard on the receiving end of Charlie Ward, who has 5 assists and 14 fast break points run off by Florida State. You would have thought Kentucky would have the big edge in that number.
Into Mash.
Tied at 32.
Take a Mash. Nope. Unselfish. Kicks it out.
Brown has it blocked by Dobard into the hands of Brown. No look pass to Mashburn, who's fouled. It might be against Maurice Robinson. Kentucky will go to the line and shoot 2 shots in a 32-32 game, and the foul is on Robinson, his first. Rodney Dobard got poked in the right eye during that scramble under the basket. Here is Jamal Mashburn. First prospect signed by Rick Pitino when he came to Lexington 4 years ago.
Out of Cardinal Hayes High School.
New York City. His mom, who raised him, he's going to buy her a house and a car when he turns professional in the NBA. Did not make this trip. She's waiting for the Final Four to New Orleans, keeping her fingers crossed and hopes Kentucky makes it. Mashburn makes both free throws.
Well, if your son has anything to say about it, you'll be dancing on Bourbon Street.
Wildcats by 2. See how they break this trap. Sura runs into Mashburn, who knocks it out of bounds, and they call the foul on Mashburn, and that's number 2 on Jamal. Kentucky in a bigger fight than maybe they anticipated, probably not knowing Rick Pitino. Here is the foul.
Hairline call.
There is Dobard having the right eye treated. Sura makes the first free throw. He has 11 points to lead the Seminoles. And 12 for Sura. Florida State, what a turnaround at the free throw line from the semifinal. They are 6 for 6 from the stripe so far.
Got to remember, they got 3 very quick guards.
Mashburn missed Travis Ford in the lane, and he draws the foul. That is the 9th foul against Florida State. The next one will mean Kentucky gets 2 shots thereafter. I would say that Florida State accomplished what they wanted in staying close. At least they've had the lead a little bit. Now what do they want to accomplish?
I think now what they want to do is continue to a racehorse game up and down, but they got to put their 5-man on the defensive board. They got to not allow Kentucky any more putbacks.
Maurice Robinson committing the personal foul, his second, and Travis Ford with 4 points right now and an 88% free throw shooter. Once again, Kentucky leading by 2. 7:17 remaining in the first half. Nothing doing for Ward down court, so he goes to Sura. Prickett picking him up, and Ford trying to steal the ball from behind is called for his 3rd personal foul. Not a smart foul by the point guard, although he probably can stay out of real foul trouble more than the big people inside.
True, because they can't post them up. If they want to, they're going to stop all their rhythm offensively.
He's going to come out, and Tony Delk will come in the game. That means Dale Brown becomes the point guard for Rick Pitino's charges. Thursday night, Florida State in a nightmare at the line. 18 of 38, perfect so far today. That's their first miss, as Sura misses the front end of the 1-and-1. Kentucky still leading by 2. Prickett with a follow. 4-point Wildcat lead.
That's the thing I just said. You cannot allow the putbacks. Don't go for the rebound. Box out. They're too good off the boards.
That's Charlie Ward. Tipped away. Kentucky ball. It was tipped off of Maurice Robinson.
Prickett gets his hands on so many balls. They call them today deflections.
Here is Wells coming back in the ball game for Florida State, and Robinson goes out. Tipped and unable to save it is Gobar. Second chance points. Kentucky has 15.
Nice entry pass.
Mashburn has it knocked away, but Prickett has it. And they're going to call a Florida State foul on Cassell, I believe. And that'll be 2 shots at the line for the Wildcats. The second personal on Sam Cassell. Prickett shooting 2. He has 8 points and 7 rebounds. And you mentioned the offensive glass. He's got 5 boards off the offensive glass.
Great future for this young man.
Tremendous poise for a freshman, even at this level of play.
And he's not hesitant. He does it now. Right or wrong, he does it. The problem with ball players that don't do anything when they have indecision. That's the one thing you don't want a ball player to have, is indecision.
Wells goes around Dent, picked up by Pritchett, and the rebound by Dent. Once again, Pritchett makes a good play coming up from the weak side to defend. 40 to 34, a 6-point lead, traveling against Tony Delk. Will turn it over to Florida State.
Florida State's done a great job at defense and mash.
Mashburn has scored 7 points. Not quite the dominant scorer he was in the first 3 games of this tournament.
Well, they don't go to any one ball player.
Although he did have 23 against Wake Forest in the first half. Interesting, he hasn't had a chance to attempt the 3. That's what you said they had to stop.
Well, with Mash, let him have the 2, but don't let him have the 3.
Wells goes inside, and there is a foul before the shot. That will be Kentucky's 10th team foul, so now Florida State will be shooting 2, and Rodney Dent, the starting center, the junior from Edison, Georgia, committing the personal foul. That's 1 on Dent. Two shots for Byron Wells, who suffered a sprained left thumb in practice before the regional got underway. 53% from the line.
Took it too fast. Got to get confidence. If you're going to miss right. Not a problem missing. The problem is not taking it right. That's better.
Florida State flicked on their first 6 free throws of the game, trailing by 5 with 5:45 remaining in the first half. This is for the right to go to the Final Four in New Orleans next weekend. Brown to Dent. In and out. Prickett crashes the boards, and Sura has it, and it's going to be Florida State ball.
Hey, you got to come down and start giving this ball a mash if you want to stay out of trouble. You're talking about most likely maybe the player of the year. If he can beat out Calvert Cheney, but he's right there.
He was 5 for 5 from three-point range in the first half against Wake Forest, so he hasn't been a threat there. Ward is pushed, and once again Florida State will go to the line to shoot 2. I think that Florida State has really taken a lot of the air out of the Kentucky balloon the way they have played in the first 3 games with their tempo.
Well, psychologically, what I thought in this ball game in the first half, if you could stop Kentucky from really having a blitzkrieg, knocking you out dead, they'll start to form a pink elephant in the back of your head, and they'll start the Kentucky people starting to think, hey, we're not that good, we're good, but not that good.
Ward hits the front end of the 1-and-1. I got a question. Kentucky, we found out, got stuck in traffic coming to the Coliseum. They were 45-50 minutes in what should have been a 10-minute ride. The team arrives 23 minutes before the tip. Does that have an effect on the way this team plays at all?
I think it has a little bit of effect on it because they didn't have enough time to work out properly, but plus the draining of the emotion sitting in the bus for 45 minutes, which should have been a 10-minute ride.
Junior Brady in for the first time. Co-captain, the senior, number 23 for Kentucky.
They're going 4 guys around the perimeter now.
And they're going to call Sura with his first foul of the game. He's been the big man with 12 points, Dobart with 10.
Florida State's in a no-win situation here. They both have committed over 10 fouls. They're both in an automatic 2-shot, but Florida State doesn't have the bench that long to get into a foul exchange business.
Edwards with 3 fouls. And Dobart with 2. Dobart started the game guarding Mashburn, and then the last time down the court it was Sam Cassell on the monster man.
Well, they try to shotgun around on Mash, because whoever guards him is automatically going to get in the foul trouble. But I think the next time down, and I'll never mention it again, if they don't give the ball to Mashburn the next time down, I'll be shocked.
And you have been shocked before.
Yes. Many times.
As recently maybe as a couple of days ago. You saw Doug Edwards. He's been on the bench for a while with those 3 fouls. He scored only 2. Amazingly, Florida State still in the game. Wells misses the layup, and here's Kentucky coming back. And Brown, penetrating nicely, will go to the line to shoot 2.
That was great athletic ability by Brown that time. Paul used his body to keep the defensive man away. Watch how he uses his hips to keep the defensive man away. Just keep your eye on his hips. See the hips, kick it away.
Sura with a second foul, and that will send Dale Brown to the free throw line. Prickett with those free throws. The 1 free throw before has 11 points, and he is the high scorer for Kentucky. Mashburn has just 8. Brown has hit on 3 3-point baskets thus far.
Hey, the kid was born in Baton Rouge.
Or Pascagoula, Mississippi. I mean, that's his hometown, a junior college transfer. And
one or the other had to get out, so Dale, the coach, said, you move up to Mississippi, I'll stay in Baton Rouge.
I think they both benefited, Al.
I'll leave that one alone. Dale's okay.
42 to 37. What would college basketball be without people like Dale Brown in the business? Sura slices in right. Prickett the rebound. Dale Brown makes a nice move around Ward. Finds Brady. Inside to Prickett. He's got the layup. Jared Prickett, a freshman from Fairmont, West Virginia, has 13 points and 9 rebounds, and he's been the star for Kentucky in this half.
Relentless, never stopped the pressure. 40 minutes from the giddy up to the wire.
Open is Ward. Derek Carroll off the glass. He scored 9 points in the semifinal. He's got 4 right now. Kentucky had a 10-point lead. Florida State ran off 11 in a row, but Kentucky maintained the lead. 5-point advantage with under 4 minutes to go in the first half. Dick Stockton and Al McGuire along with Jim Gray here in Charlotte. Mashburn with his first 3-point attempt is an air ball, and here's Dobard, basket hanging.
Give Pat Kennedy credit. He found the Achilles heel. He found the belly. It's going over their pressure, going long.
And Charlie Ward has 6 assists. He has been a true quarterback in this first half for Florida State. Steal by Ward. Dumps it off to Cassell. Brown wanted to travel, and they'll call a Kentucky foul instead.
Sam did travel that time. He got away with 2 steps.
That'll be the second foul on Dale Brown. And we'll see Jamal Martinez making his first appearance of the game for Kentucky.
Here comes the pass over the pressure on the air ball by Mash. Nothing but all net.
So Martinez has come in for Kentucky, and that's Maurice Robinson for Florida State.
You know, Dick, what's surprising here, the game, we're going on like Florida State's winning. Kentucky's winning by 3 points. Everybody expects Kentucky to win by 33. Everyone gets spoiled in life, no matter who you are.
When you're winning all your games by 30 and the lead is like a half a dozen, you think the other club is ahead. You're right. Jamal Mashburn. There's Ward getting a breather. Mashburn is on the bench for the first time. So Ford and Mashburn getting a rest with 3:16 to go. And Kentucky's lead now 2. Here's Cassell. He makes the free throws and a timeout in a hot game.
It all started 35 years ago.
Mash, not doing great offensively so far, but it's there. There's no doubt it's there. But what happens with Kentucky is that anyone can shoot the 3-point land, and what coach wants, if you got the shot, let it fly.
Mashburn has not been in the flow so far. He has scored 8 points. He's not hit a 3-point basket. And on the trap, here's the turnover. Dobard into the hands of Sura. Spots for a 3. Martinez clears. 44-43 Kentucky with 3 minutes remaining in the first half. Florida State has led 1 time by 1 point. Brady. He'll try the 3 and hit it.
What you got to notice with Kentucky, if you go around in front of their pivot men, they seal you and seal you out and to have the inside for the rebound. That's why they get so many putbacks.
Cassell running the show. Ward on the bench right now, so Cassell and Sura and Derek Carroll up front as they spread out the offense.
Look to get a few ticks off the clock to still control the ball.
Cassell inside and the whistle. And the foul will be against Florida State. They tried the 4 corners offense. And instead, the Seminoles committing a foul, and it'll be number 3 on Sam Cassell.
Sam, you made the pants too long. You better get out of that game.
Charlie Ward will come in replacing Cassell for Florida State. Ward's off to a terrific start in this game.
With being injured and have a little bit of the flu.
That shoulder separation, which plagued him all year. Cassell going to the bench. And on the line is Jamal Martinez. Martinez and Doug Edwards, who has had 3 personal fouls, were high school teammates at Miami Senior High. So the 2 of them meeting in the most important games in the lives of either player. The winner moving on to the Final Four in New Orleans next weekend. And the lead is 6.
One big thing here is that Florida State's getting caught in the foul situation. You can't do that with Kentucky. They can go, it's really 7-11. Kentucky can go 11, and Florida State 7 rotation.
Ward working against Dale Brown. Feeds inside of the baseline to Maurice Robinson. Still Florida State's ball. Brown looking for a foul, not getting it. Each team is in double digits in fouls, so it's 2 shots at the line. Derek Carroll will inbound. He's got Sura, Gobard, Robinson, and Charlie Ward in the red uniform.
Sura right now is the offensive weapon out there. Trying to open it up, even a little clock, get into halftime. Only down 6 points. They'd be happy with that.
10 seconds on the shot clock, 1:43 in the first half. They have slowed the tempo, turned it into a half-court game, and Sura, against double team, forced the shot into the hands of Brown. Sura will do that at times. Brady, who collected on a 3 the last time. Roderick Rhodes in the game, hits a 3. Roderick Rhodes with 6 points, and Kentucky now with 6 3-point hoops in the half, leading by 9. Here is Carroll. Derek Carroll, and it's 52-45.
Carroll put it up. He's a shooter, Dick. Whenever he comes in, he wants to put it up.
1 minute to go in the first half. Roderick Rhodes slices in, and the rebound by Maurice Robinson. There's a difference of about 8 seconds between the shot clock and the game clock.
You're right. They'll go 4 corners right now. Kid from Wilkes-Barre holding the ball. When he was in high school, they called him schoolyard.
He was a great schoolyard player. A lot of fancy shots and passes, and he's done the same thing since coming over to the ACC.
He said if he didn't go to Florida State, he probably would have went to Siena.
Upstate New York. Ward is hit on the hands by Brown, and that will be the 3rd foul against Dale Brown, and Ward will go to the line to shoot 3. I'm sure that's a foul that Rick Pitino didn't want to see, because both his starting guards, Travis Ford and Dale Brown, now will go into halftime with 3 fouls.
In addition to that, Dick, 3 foul shots. People don't understand mathematics. That's where Coach Rick Pitino is so good. Hey, you take everything from 3-point land. If you can add and subtract, you should know that.
2 Big Ten and 2 ACC teams still left. All the number 1s are still alive, and Temple now is the lowest seed remaining. They beat Vanderbilt and will have to face Michigan tomorrow. Brown will go out of the game. Delk replaces him. Sura on the bench. So Dale Brown with 10 points, including 3 from 3-point range. Charlie Ward, 6 assists and 3 steals in the first half, despite the flu and the shoulder problem.
Too much hand movement. I would tell the referee, hey, the Kentucky guys are putting their hands and arms up in alternating, which is trying to catch the peripheral vision of the shooter. Now watch it this time. See those hands going up? Now watch. They're lowering them and they'll put them up again. See the movement of the hands? That's illegal. I get over. Pat Kennedy's missing that. That's illegal. And all it does is just break your concentration a tiny, tiny little bit.
That's an interesting observation, because there's no reason, especially on the second free throw, to have your hands up. You're not going after the ball, and then you lower them.
That's why CBS pays me. I hope.
Now we know. Ward makes 1 out of 3. 6-point lead with 15+ remaining. Brady in the game with Delk. Mashburn sat out the last several minutes of this half. Martinez off the glass with 5 seconds to go. 8-point lead, Florida State with seconds to go, and there is Ward, and that won't go. So Kentucky opened it up again after Florida State narrowed the gap. And that's the end of the first half with the score. Kentucky 54, Florida State 46. CBS Sports exclusive coverage of the NCAA Basketball Championship will continue after this message and a word from your local station.
CBS Sports exclusive coverage of the NCAA Basketball Championship Regional Final Game is sponsored by Oldsmobile, official car for NCAA Championships. MCI, the business services division of MCI. And by Domino's. Call Domino's Pizza, and in 30 minutes you'll be enjoying a fresh hot pizza plus something for nothing.
Whoa, Domino's is cooking! And now every time you call us, we're giving you something for nothing. It's really something. Really something when you call Domino's. Now buy our new...
Here at Charlotte, where Kentucky opened up a tight game and leads by 8 at the half. And compared to other halftime scores, this is reasonable. 8-point lead compared to the big ones Kentucky have had over Rider, Utah, and Wake Forest in the tournament so far. 11 offensive rebounds for Kentucky, 5 by Jared Prickett, resulting in a 15-3 edge and second chance points for the Wildcats. There's the shooting story, just about even. Sura and Dobard.
And surprisingly, Dick, turnovers 10 for Kentucky, 5 for Florida State.
That's really unusual. You would have thought Kentucky would have forced a lot more. You saw Sura and Dobard each with 12, leading Florida State. Prickett with 13 is the leading scorer for Kentucky, and now you can make it 15 for Jared Prickett.
Mismatch underneath. Sura cannot cover Prickett. Too much height disadvantage.
Edwards starts the second half. He played only 8 minutes, Doug Edwards did, with 3 personal fouls early, so it's surprising that Florida State remained in the game as well as they did with Edwards on the bench. Also surprising that Kentucky, without Mashburn, opened up the lead in the stretch. Sura with the ball, knocked away from Edwards, and a reach-in foul call. And that will be against Brady, who started the second half. Brady, Prickett, Travis Ford, Dent, and Mashburn are the 5 out there for Kentucky. And that foul was against Brady. Ford has 3 personal fouls. He's on the floor. Dale Brown not starting the second half. He is hit with 3 as well for Kentucky.
Mash is laying off Dubard. Want to double down on Edwards if he gets the ball down low. Edwards usually can pencil in 18 points and 10 boards.
Dobard working against Mashburn with a good move inside. Rodney Dobard, who has really played his best ball in postseason, now has 14. At the other end, Prickett is all over the place, and a pushing foul is called. And it is against Dobard. That is his 3rd.
This is a strange move here. Watch him come into the right and shoot with his left hand. Mash is playing all left hand because he's lefty.
Dobard with 3 fouls, Edwards with 3. They're both still on the floor. There's Mashburn. They've kept him away from 3-point range pretty much in this game.
Give Dobard credit. He's playing close. Mash can take the school drive, and we only ends up with 2 points that way.
They dump it off wide open. Brady looking for 3. He's got it. That's his second 3-point basket of the ball game for Junior Brady. Kentucky up by 11, and that is their biggest lead of the game. While everyone thinks Florida State, because they have really prevented a blowout, is in the game, they think they're winning. They're not. Kentucky has their biggest.
Well, you can tell a team is good like Kentucky. You try to pick the chinks in their armor and show their weaknesses.
Here's Cassell. Brady is all over it. Sam Cassell, high off the glass, won't go, and the second attempt by Edwards, and he'll go to the line.
Watch Mash here. He'll get the ball, and he'll feel the pressure. He knows someone's open, and out he kicks it to the spot. Touchdown.
Foul is on Rodney Dent, and Mashburn, who went to the bench with 3 minutes and 12 seconds to go in the first half, and Kentucky outscored Florida State 10-3 with Mashburn on the bench. Gives you a little bit of an idea that they're not a one-man game.
Now he puts them in. Anyone has confidence. He works on their heads a lot. I think Patino makes you physically and mentally tough.
Edwards with both free throws. Several games this year, he's had poor first halves and has come up big in the second 20 minutes. See if this is one of those games. Prickett in the paint, nowhere to go. Brady pulls up for 3. Dent trying to keep it alive, and he does, and Mashburn gets the easy chippy.
Florida State's biggest problem is not boxing out in their own backcourt. Too many putbacks.
15-3 was the edge on second-half points at the half for Kentucky, and they've added to that.
Well, what they do, you front them, as I told you earlier, when you front them, they will seal you off to get inside position for the chippy off the rebound.
61-50. Here is Charlie Ward. Short on the three. No Florida State players going after it, and Kentucky's with Ford. In the forecourt, baseline is Mashburn. Trying to get into the flow of the game, and they're calling traveling on the Monster Man. Ran into Sam Cassell. Kentucky looking for their 10th Final Four appearance. Florida State their second.
And looking for their 6th national championship. Rupp got it for them 4 times, and Hall got it once.
Only UCLA has collected more of the big trophies. There's Cassell. Wild shot from three-point range, missed. Kentucky leading by 11. Ford, here's a long three, and he's got it. Travis Ford with his second three-point bomb. And a timeout called by Florida State.
You have better things to do than having to think about how much you're paying for long distance.
I don't want to spend a lot of time on this stuff.
So AT&T makes it easy. With the iPlan, you get a good deal no matter how you call. No lists, names, or hassles. I is for simple. To switch to AT&T free, call 1-800-582-7800. I is for individual, only from AT&T.
What makes a mountain man a mountain man? Let's find out. Must a mountain man be a big burly guy with an axe? A man of steel?
Florida State in 1 minute scored 11 straight points, took the lead before Kentucky opened up an 8-point bulge, but now it's a 14-point affair. Sura is fouled inside. Mashburn might have gotten a piece of him now.
I think he caught him with his body more than with his arm that time. 3
fouls on Jamal Mashburn. So Mashburn, Ford, and Brown, all with 3 fouls for Kentucky. That'll send Bob Sura to the free throw line. He is 4 for 5 from the stripe, a far cry from the semifinal with Florida State's free throw shooting. Looking at the foul trouble, not only does Kentucky have 3 players with 3, but Edwards, Cassell, and Dobard all with 3 persons.
In the long run, it hurts the Noles, the Seminoles.
They're called the Noles. Who has time to say Seminole? Ford gets it in low to Prickett. Prickett with a turnaround inside, posting up. 17 for Jared Prickett, who came in the game averaging just under 5 points a game. Three guards, and Dobard and Edwards in there, and Dobard with a nice touch. Dobard with 16 now.
Mash didn't want to pick up a personal foul that time, so laid off him.
Ford looking to dip, and his stuff is off the rim. And Rick Pitino is really disgusted at Rodney Dent right now. That's not the kind of discipline that Pitino wants from his team.
Well, you're winning a position in the NBA dunking contest in this one. That ball ricocheted back to half court.
Florida State down by 13. And there is a three-point basket by Doug Edwards, who is 6'9". He's got 7 points, hampered with the personal fouls. So now, again, it's a 10-point lead.
That's what the coach wants.
A little softer.
Forget all the globies and all the hot dogs with mustard and sauerkraut. Put the ball through the rim.
Nearly 5 minutes have gone by in the second half. Florida State on an uphill climb in the second half. Sura with the baseline. Stepped on the line. So Kentucky has it again, and Derek Carroll returns to the game for Florida State, replacing Bob Sura. Sura goes out. having scored 13.
He'll be back, but you got to take him out. You got to talk to him, settle him down, then put him back in, because they're going to have a chance to win this game. Bob Sura has smoked a lot of points.
Here is Ford with a runner. Travis Ford in double figures now. Biggest lead Kentucky's had was 15 points just a moment ago. And they've got the fans here. This is not an ACC crowd, to say the least. Dent over the top commits the foul. That'll be the 4th team foul against Kentucky, and now 3 on Rodney Dent. Pitino does have Andre Riddick, though, as a backup in the middle.
And Martinez can also play the middle.
Dobard is on the free throw line. No, they're inbounding from Cassell out to Dobard. And almost a steal by Dent. Finally, there is a steal. Mashburn winds up with it. They're like big crabs and claws the way Kentucky converges on the ball inside.
Constantly waiting to do it, being spotted up, penetrate and kick out to the spot.
Dent setting a screen, runs Cassell into it, and Ford with a layup. It'll be Florida State's ball. 70-56 Kentucky, looking to get to the Final Four in New Orleans, where Rick Pitino brought the Providence Friars to the Final Four in 1987 to the Superdome. Cassell did not set before that shot. That was a wild shot, too. Florida State, not the most disciplined team.
Well, they're freelance. That's their style.
Mashburn misses the 3. Dent saves it for Kentucky. Here's Mash again for 3. Kentucky killing Florida State off the offensive glass.
There's too much height underneath. That was a charge. Nope, they called step in.
Lock-in foul against Charlie Ward. And that'll be his first personal foul. What can Pat Kennedy do now?
I think just let them play the game, but don't try to save your ball players anymore. If they're going to foul out, let them foul out. You got to leave Edwards in there. You hope he gets a hot hand. You got to put Sura back in. They're in a zone now, a 2-3 zone, new face. This automatically allows a shot from the outside.
Kentucky's had 10 more offensive rebounds than Florida State today.
Normally you can't drive against the zone. You can shoot from the outside like that.
Ford. Travis Ford, over 50% on the season from 3. He's got 13 now. Kentucky with its biggest lead of the game.
We treat those trucks like we're going to buy each one. We build them like we're going to buy the next one coming off the line. We build a world-class truck. We care. We care what we ship. We care what people buy. Because if we didn't care, they'd never be back. The final product, it is beautiful. And I know if that truck's got that decal on there, I must be doing my job right.
Chevrolet, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road. Bill Walsh for Sharp.
In sports, you'd better know where your X's and O's are. It's no different in business. You need a game plan. And Sharp's got winning game plans for your business. A booklet that'll help you find the right copier, like Sharp's high-volume duplicating system that's going to increase your productivity and reduce your operating expenses. And how Sharp, the #1 fax company, can show you a plain paper laser fax with the lowest cost per copy in the industry. So call 1-800-B-SHARP for your winning game plan. Believe me.
He has scored 18 more points from three-point range than Florida State. It's been a big weapon for them once again.
If you're going to beat Kentucky, you got to let them beat you with 2-point baskets, not 3s.
Edwards misses a layup on a good feed inside. That was one that Pat Kennedy didn't want to see go away. Prickett, who has a career high of 17 points in this game. The freshman who did not start the first 2 games of the tournament, but a big role in the games here in Charlotte. Mashburn back to Prickett. Getting an arm on it was Dobard, but it's still Wildcats ball with 15 on the shot clock. Ford will try again for a 3. Out of bounds, still Kentucky ball. They're going for it, but they don't always have control, and that's one of the things I notice about Florida State. Carroll had position, but couldn't control it, and I've seen that all over the floor. Brady. Sam Cassell, who had a cut lip, hangs in the game, and they're going to call the personal foul. No, it's knocked out of bounds by Cassell, and it's still Kentucky's ball.
Dobard can lay a little bit off Mash because of his size, so he can cover up in that three-point line.
Ward looking for help. And Edwards with a good play. He was fronting Dent and gets the ball into the hands of Charlie Ward with just under 12 minutes remaining in the second half.
It's a long way back, so you better begin right now.
17-point lead. Here's Cassell. Mashburn picked him up on a switch. Edwards pops out. He's not the one you want trying the threes, although he did hit one earlier.
You want Edwards underneath. That's where his strength is. He can use his body. Has good solid moves, has a solid body.
Florida State 33% shooting in the second half, so Kentucky's defense, particularly on the half court, coming into to play major here. And Edwards has picked up his 4th personal foul.
$11 minutes left in the game, 4 fouls. I still let Doug play in there because you're going to get back. You got to leave him in there.
Dale Brown replaces Brady. Brown, who has hit 3 three-pointers and has 3 fouls, now handling the ball, throws it away to Ward, and here is Cassell, and Cassell travels.
Just couldn't get a handle on the ball, tried to adjust his body, ended up with a walk. A perfect bounce pass by Ward.
Sura back in, and Ward goes out of the game. Despite that turnover, Kentucky has committed 5 more than Florida State as Jamal Martinez gives Rodney Dent the rest.
Got to remember that Edwards only played 8 minutes in the first half.
And now he's playing with 4 personal fouls. Prickett gets loose inside with a lay-in. 19 points for Jared Prickett, West Virginia High School Player of the Year last year, and playing with an inflamed toe in this tournament.
With freedom, Mash gave a beautiful pick on the weak side, which allowed him to be free. It's going up.
Sura from the free throw line. What's interesting as Brown gets the rebound is that Florida State is unable to attempt many three-point shots because of Kentucky's defense. That was Martinez on the fast break. And once again, Kentucky putting on the big numbers and a 21-point lead.
Seminoles, if you drop your head, they'll beat you by 40. You got to keep your heads up, young guys, and just play this game. There might be a way back into it only because there's so much time left.
Kentucky, meanwhile, is on an 11-0 run, frustrating Pat Kennedy.
Kentucky frustrates everybody.
They have in this tournament. Not only have they blown everyone away in the NCAA tournament, but in the 2 of the 3 games of the Southeast Conference tournament, they opened up huge early leads. Edwards beats Martinez to the punch. Only the 9th point for Doug Edwards, who came in averaging over 18. 10 minutes remaining in the second half. Long climb for the Seminoles against a team playing as well as any team in college basketball tournament now.
Notice Dobard come out that time on Mash, not giving him the 3-point shot. See, he can lay that far off because he's so tall. Travis is looking to spot up.
Cassell fighting through Martinez as Ford hits another 3. Travis Ford, transfer from Missouri, and the Kentucky native with his 4th 3-point basket of the ball game, and it's 80-58.
Anybody's ever going to beat me, if I ever come back to a young man again, you're going to beat me with 2-point plays, not 3-point plays.
As you said, Al, all along, the percentages are there. Keep going at them.
And plus, they seal the inside on you. Then when Kentucky goes in their fast break, they don't dribble it, they pass it up.
Dale
It takes
Brown.
4 times as long to dribble the ball as it does pass. So let everybody get inside position on the pivot.
Prickett goes out of the game. Cassell. And a Kentucky foul. Second foul on Martinez. So Prickett goes out of the game having scored 19.
Charlie Ward checks in for Cassell for the Seminoles. Sam Cassell is on the line.
Cassell will be shooting. 9:07 remaining. 80-58 the score.
Sam Cassell for 2 shots.
Florida State was sharp from the line early, but they have missed a few in the latter stage of the first half and here in the second half, and this is the Kentucky run of 14-2. Rhodes inside to Brown. And it goes the same way.
Here we go.
Brown pulls up, but it's Kentucky with another offensive rebound and a foul.
Second foul on Charlie Ward is his 4th foul.
2 on Ward. Look at that rebounding edge, Al. 33-9, most off the offensive glass.
That's a massacre.
And Ward might have gotten him from behind. Ford is fouled. Three on Charlie Ward.
Charlie Ward, 15th foul.
Mashburn has scored only 10 points in this game. Getting support from the rest, and a foul away from the ball called against Roderick Rhodes, his 3rd personal.
Roderick Rhodes, his last 2 years at St. Anthony's, they won 60 out of 63 games.
How tough is it to be a freshman coming up to a major program and so much expected of you?
Well, what happens here is I think he expects so much out of himself, and with his ability, Dick, he has it there, but he has to wait his turn. It's in the system like Pitino runs, is that there is no star. If there is a star, it's Mash this year.
Cassell is on the line. So when you're the big number 1 and you're in high school, don't you wonder, doesn't the coach transmit that to you when you get to a school like Kentucky?
You listen, but when it gets to post time on the court, you still got that I syndrome. You still think that, hey, everything in high school went my way. I know I got the ability. Every college in the country wanted me. Let me do my thing. But that doesn't work in the team concept in Division I. And when you're running the dynasty with Rick Pitino has started the dynasty right now again at Kentucky.
But Rhodes will learn.
Oh, he'll learn. But he'll do it Rick Pitino's way. He won't do it Rhodes' way.
Ford with a pretty good ball handling display. Dale Brown with a fake and a goaltend called against Sura. And 2 more to the Kentucky total. And they've got Martinez pushing Cassell up court. That'll be the 19th foul against the Wildcats. So Florida State shooting 1-1, and the next foul for Kentucky will mean 2 shots for the Seminoles.
A lot of people don't realize, Dick, that the personal fouls that Kentucky commits are no problem to Coach Pitino. His bench is so deep, there's so many guys there, that the more he gets you exchanging fouls and getting his refs blowing the whistle. They foul so often in their court pressure that you can be blowing it all the time. Then you count it. The other team starts coming back, and then you're in the minus pool. I think Rick Pitino is the coach of the 90s. I really think he got a system in using the three-point shot and sealing out offensively so you get the inside, and then posting up immediately down. You fast break on him, he fast breaks right back on you. That's a la the NBA, which he picked up as an assistant coach in New York Knicks and also as being head coach. He never should have been let go as head coach in New York Knicks, or he left himself, I'm not sure.
I'll tell you one thing, that was an exciting brand of ball that the New York fans enjoyed when he was coaching the Knicks. Martinez in the front court with 8:24 remaining, 82-63. Brown passes, he was open for a three, and Martinez shot goes through. Florida State is claiming that Kentucky interfered with it, but it's going to be a basket. Let's see who gets credit for it. It's Roderick Rose, who has 8 points.
The crowd was white. They were right. That was offensive goal interference.
Cassell driving in, and Florida State lose it out of bounds.
A tradition unlike any other. The Masters on CBS.
The available anti-lock brakes on the new Geo Prism can help you negotiate driving hazards during hard braking. And every new Prism comes with a driver's side airbag, which we'd also be happy to demonstrate. But you've seen all that before.
For sure. 84-63. Open is Dale Brown. Kentucky passing up three-pointers now.
Still a way to go yet, but I think coach is smelling Bourbon Street.
Kentucky looking to get there for the 10th time, and Mashburn, like Dent, missed the stuff, and here comes Florida State back. Kentucky back defensively. Sura for three, a long three-point shot. That was almost an NBA three.
Getting medically cut up here.
Dissected.
Surgically.
Sliced and diced every which way. Kentucky putting on another clinic. This one took a while before they went about their business. And the foul away from the ball against Dale Brown. And he's out of the game. Ralph Willard. Now, how often do you see a coach whose team lost sitting in the Kentucky section? That's because he has been a lifelong friend of Rick Pitino's. In fact, with Bobby Cremins going back to Georgia Tech, not accepting the South Carolina job, Willard could be the #1 candidate to coach at South Carolina. It'd be a great job for him and for the school.
He's an outstanding coach, and I don't know if Western Kentucky, the Hilltoppers, don't want him to leave. He got them back to where they've been years ago with Glenn Haskins and Ed Diddle was, and Red Towel, and tradition.
Western Kentucky with a great year, getting to the Sweet 16, and Willard, I don't know whether they'll be able to hold him, frankly.
It'd be very difficult.
Dale Brown fouled out, scored 12 points, including 3 from three-point range. 20-point lead in favor of Kentucky. Jelp with a fake and a hoop.
Nice, simple head and shoulder fake. Put Edwards up in the air.
Florida State's big guns, Sura and Cassell again. No baskets in the second half in this game. Credit Kentucky's defense. Martinez on Edwards right there.
Got to give the NCAA selection committee some credit, because the first #1 is qualified to go down to the Crescent City.
And the next #1 goes up against a #2 Kansas in the next game. And North Carolina, another #1. Jelp misses, and the rebound by Edwards. 6:15 to go. Sura goes around Martinez, and a beautiful play. Playground play by Sura. The basket counts in a foul.
He gave a static move there. Very seldom you see that. He's coming to the second guy, he give a hesitant, then went in the back door. Watch the hesitant dribble here. Martinez comes out. Now here's a second hesitant dribble. Then right in.
Travis Ford committing his 4th foul of the game. His backcourt partner to start, Dale Brown, has fouled out of the game. Brown normally is the backup point guard when Ford is on the bench, so Kentucky could be in trouble in the point position. But they're not in trouble on the scoreboard. Rose behind his back, throws it to Jerry Donahue.
He's coming out. The coach, I just talked about freshmen, and I've said 1,000 times, the best thing out of a freshman is to become a sophomore. Now, coach won't go near him for a while, but later on, coach will come down, kneel in front of him. Here's a great pass to the zebra. Boom! He was open. Anyone that's open, he'll hit.
Jerry Donahue didn't know what was coming his way.
But he had good hands.
Cassell, offensive foul against Cassell. Florida State can't get anything going their way in the second half of this game. They were down by 8, and now they're down by 19.
Rhodes there can't understand. The coach is so mad at him. He can't understand, hey, you're only a freshman. When I said earlier, someday you'll be as good, maybe even better than Mashburn, I mean after 3 or 4 years. I don't mean now.
Florida State putting on some pressure, trying to get the ball back. Prickett. And Delta. Kentucky beating the pressure easy. Kentucky, by the way, has played 10 men in the game, and every one of them have scored.
Well, right now, Coach Pat wants to speed up the clock. Let's get out of here. It's very tough. It was tough on Wake Forest the same way. And this is something that works in the advantage of the Wildcats, is that players and coaches are always embarrassed of being blown out.
Loose ball. And Edwards is hit by Prickett.
Good hustle by Prickett that time. Stayed right in the game. Normally, hey, they got a 21-point lead. Why hustle? But not at Kentucky, and not with Rick Pitino at the engineer of the train.
Edwards will go to the line.
Watch this play. Here he is. Digs from way downtown. Caught a piece of his hand.
You know, Al, I know this is kind of a coming home for you down in this part of the country. Belmont Abbey, you did some interesting things. How about the time you bought ice cream for? Tell us the story.
In Evansville, Indiana. Yes, if Evansville would play us, I promised I'd buy everybody an ice cream cone. So we bought 14,000 ice cream cones, and they beat us by 35 points.
Now, what's that lamb or...
Oh, there's a little goat. I sent it on to Arab McCutcheon. He was in our house for 2 nights and cried, so I wanted to get rid of the goat. So I sent the goat out to him to keep him awake. But you know, here in Charlotte next year, this is where the finals are going to be, in the Queen City.
88-68, a 20-point lead, winding down to 5 minutes remaining. Florida State has only 5 field goals in the second half, so Kentucky's brilliant defense is going to be a big part of their bid to win a championship next weekend.
Very seldom does coach ever speak about offense. It's always talking about the defense. Defense is like water, it finds a level. Offense is like the stock market. You never know where it's going.
Martinez with the layup. Mashburn has only 10 points, and there's been a lot of other people playing a big role for Kentucky in this game as Edwards is fouled.
It doesn't bother Mashburn at all.
Not at all. He doesn't care about points. In fact, after halftime on Thursday night, Rick Pitino said, I bet you Mash doesn't get another point in the game because he doesn't care about that.
He had 23 in the first half.
Tomorrow, Al, North Carolina, Cincinnati. I'd like to know your thoughts. From what I've seen, Kentucky looks like they're on their way. They have a tremendous club, could win the championship, and maybe North Carolina is the only team that might be able to beat it.
Yeah, North Carolina dodged the bullet when they beat the athletic team of Arkansas. The Razorbacks are quick and go up and down the court. If there's a problem with Sky Blue and Chapel Hill, is that they're a half a step slow on the baseline.
And, you know, the Montrose is a terrific player, and there is Prickett trying to keep it in bounds. He does to Cassell.
But if the Bearcats from Cincinnati get their defense going and start turning it over, which will force Dean Smith to call timeouts, which he never likes to call.
Florida State looking for threes. Kentucky's Prickett won't let him try it, and there is Cassell in the lane. 4:16 to go. 20-point lead. Kentucky will go to the Final Four for the 10th time. And a blocking foul. In the West, Michigan has had a tough time throughout this tournament, including last night against George Washington, although they have surprised. They play Temple tomorrow. How do you see that game?
Well, I said earlier in the year that Michigan was going through the terrible twos like a kid growing up. If they stay together next year, I think they have an automatic championship here in Charlotte. They cannot fool around with Temple. One of the better coaches in the country is John Shaney. If John Shaney gets out in front of you, you're in trouble. Now, if he slips down and falls down by 8 or 10 points, then it will be a massacre. Then Michigan will win by 20 or 30.
So I've got to ask you, having seen Kentucky, who could really beat Kentucky the way they're playing with all the ammunition they have on both ends of the court, the way they're playing half-court defense, and with the monster Mashburn?
I think if Henderson would get back, I don't think he's going to be able to get back. If he could get back in somewhere around 80 to 90%, but I doubt it, IU could give them a tremendous run for their money. I said earlier in the year that Kentucky would win it all only because I felt that Coach Rick Pitino was due. Life comes from being due. There's a touchdown pass in reverse.
Dealt from Mashburn. The big guy threw to the little guy.
And he's not a quarterback.
Charlie Ward had a couple of those early in the game. Speaking of Ward, he misses a 3. Rebound by Edwards. Ford will not let him get off another 3-point shot. Here is Dobar. Into Cassell with the layup. Mashburn, by the way, we talked about how he contributes. Only 10 points, but he has 6 assists in this game. And Kentucky can't keep it in bounds. And we'll take a timeout with 3:36 on the clock.
Nipper and Chipper show us what the RCA home theater with SRS sound looks like. Now they show us what it feels like. Looks like, feels like. Looks like, feels like. Any questions? Now get up to $100 back on selected RCA home theater televisions.
It has a powerful overhead valve engine, smooth 5-speed transmission, has the best resale value of any make, and comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee. The cost, just $1,999. It's the John Deere 12.5 horsepower STX 38 lawn tractor.
Shelley Lawn gives good advice starting Friday.
3:36 left in the game. It's a blowout. Kentucky leading Florida State 92-73. I want to remind everybody that coming up at 6 o'clock, a little less than a half an hour, Kansas and Indiana. Coach Mike Krzyzewski is with me in the studio. And what's your take on this game, Coach?
Very, very close game. I think that Matt Nover is the key for Indiana. He's got to play 40 minutes, Pat, because they don't have big people, and they're going to have to get good minutes from Henderson, or else they could be in trouble.
The number 1 seed, the number 2 seed in the Midwest Regional Final. James Brown and Bill Raftery will have that game. Right now, let's go back to Dick and Al.
All right, Pat, thank you very much. Sura has committed a foul for Florida State, and Kentucky will go to the line to shoot 1-1. Kentucky fans have to be elated. They've got to start packing their bags for the Crescent City, and there is Joanne Patino, the wife of Rick Pitino. Prickett is on the line. Pitino going to the Final Four for the 2nd time, and both times to New Orleans. Free throw is good. Tonight on CBS, it's Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman, In the Heat of the Night and Raven, all tonight on CBS following the Midwest Regional Final between Indiana and Kansas. That's Kentucky's first free throw of this half, and they still maintain the ball. Al, I know you've liked Kentucky all year. The last time Kentucky won the NCAA title was back in 1978, and that year How about this? Alabama won the National Football Championship, and the Dallas Cowboys won the Super Bowl.
Well, that happened to be in St. Louis, and what happened at that time, Joe B. Hall that summer went over to the USSR, and that's when they started playing Clydesdales rather than quarter horses, and that has changed in college the size of the bodies.
Lack of concentration, and Cassell, you can't blame them. They're out of this game. St. Louis was the scene, and of course, Kentucky getting to the Final Four. The last time they got there was in '84 when they lost to Georgetown in the national semifinals. That was in Seattle. Patrick Ewing and John Thompson took the honors that year.
Well, those Clydesdales in '78, that was Phillips and Roby and Steele and the great point guard. Is it Mason?
Kyle Macy.
Kyle Macy, transferred from Purdue.
Martinez misses. Jamal Mashburn fighting for it. Our Chevrolet players of the game, Rodney Dobard for Florida State. He had 2 fine games here at Charlotte. And Jared Prickett, who has a career high of 20 points. 10 rebounds for the freshman. You will be hearing a lot more of him, rest assured. Ward missed, and Ford has it with 2:45 to go. Slapped away and dealt in the foul before the shot. We want to thank some people while we have a moment. The coordinating producer of the NCAA Basketball Championship on CBS's Bob Dekas. Today's Southeast Regional Final was produced by Bob Stenner and directed by Artie Kempner. The coordinating producers of At the Half were David Winter and Eric Mann, directed by Bob Mattina. And the senior producer of CBS Sports is Ed Gorin. So Sam Cassell, playing his last game as a collegian, senior from Baltimore, fouls out, having scored 16 points in the game.
He's done a nice job the last 2 years in getting into the ACC and making himself known right away. I keep going back to the first game in the ACC. They beat Dean Smith in the Dome there, which was say, hey, don't just look at Florida State as being a football school. We're also a basketball school.
They have turned this school into a factor in both major sports. Edwards with his second three-point basket of the game, and Florida State calls a timeout. 93-76. Pat Kennedy is not ready to pack it in.
Let it rain. Let it snow. You've got Michelin's all-season MXV4. A luxury performance tire with a very special feature. Climate controlled. Michelin. Because so much is riding on your tires.
With each new day, you find a way to be your best.
Gillette Sensor for the closest, safest shave ever.
You know you gotta be a little better than the rest.
Only Sensor has spring-mounted twin blades that adjust to every detail of every face. Gillette Sensor. And now there's Gillette Shaving Gel with advanced lubricants for an incredibly smooth shave.
Gillette, the best of men you get.
Why is Red Lobster's new steak and 19 shrimp so delicious? Well, first we splash it, spice it, sizzle it, sear it, and serve it so you can savor it. Introducing Scampi, fried shrimp, and our new tender top sirloin, all three together just $10.99. So slice it, spritz it, dip it, don't miss it. Steak and 19 shrimp, only $10.99 tonight at Red Lobster.
Gillette introduces the best shaving gel ever. New Gillette Gel. Advanced lubricants. Easier razor glide. An incredibly smooth shave. Now, the best gel is Gillette Gel.
For his retirement, Neil McBain had no intention of slowing down. That's why Dean Witter mapped out his financial course with only one goal in mind. Victory. Dean Witter.
We measure success, one investor at a time.
The greatest players of today, leaving a legacy for tomorrow. A tradition unlike any other. The Masters on CBS.
Dick Stockton and Al McGuire here at Charlotte Coliseum. Lorenzo Hands has replaced Sam Cassell in the Florida State lineup. Martinez going deep for Prickett. Knocked out of bounds. Sounds like a football commentary, and it's still Kentucky's ball.
Mr. Hands got his hand in there.
Hands, a 6'3" senior from West Palm Beach. Final games of the careers for Doug Edwards, Rodney Dobar, Cassell. 3 seniors who started today. Ford and Delk. With Prickett, Martinez, and Jamal Mashburn. 2:15 on the clock. Kentucky will win its 10th straight game. What a momentum booster going into the Final Four.
Great feeling, Dick, right after you know you got the tickets to go to the Final Four.
Should have been, that might have been Prickett, and it is 22 points for Prickett.
Coach will give his team off tomorrow. Start to retool on Monday.
There's a 3-point attempt is short by Edwards. Kentucky is shooting 54% from the field. And a 26-edge rebound. Martinez out-rebounded Florida State by 26, and their bench has outscored Florida State 32-7. What incredible numbers rolled up by Kentucky today. Carroll.
Well, the way Kentucky plays, Dick, they take a 40-minute game and make it a 60-minute game.
Right. Carroll hit the 3. It's 97-79. Mashburn goes in. The basket counts. And a foul. And Kentucky will go over 100 for the second straight game.
That was all strength. 2 people caught their hands down on the ball low with Mash. He just broke through it. That was body power. The bodies of the 90s. There's the Charles Barkley. Malone, the mailman. Be able to control and score after you hit.
And Doug Edwards has fouled out, having scored 15 points and 7 rebounds, and he just got hit with a technical foul. Not the way you want to end your career, but he has to be frustrated with his Florida State group.
Watch Mash here. He powers the ball with his big hands. See how protected it is? Looks like he's going through the line like a fullback. Change it to the right side, the outside.
So Mashburn misses the free throw. And now the technical free throw. Mashburn with 12 points, 9 rebounds, and 7 assists. And they're going to take him out of the game. Going to the professional ranks, but not before a date in New Orleans. And Travis Ford will shoot the 2 technicals. 100-79 Wildcats.
Travis Ford is an outstanding freshman at Missouri, then transferred to Kentucky. Last 2 years hasn't played ball really, Dick.
And he admitted that he was a pain in the you-know-what to Rick Pitino because he had been playing since the age of 2, Al. And he says, here I am, a transfer, I sit out, then I'm injured with the bad kneecap. And finally, Pitino said, yeah, you were a little bit of a pain, but you're okay now.
But you got to remember, Dick, they're all young kids. They're all 17 and a half years your age, or 18 when you get them. They all think they're stars, but there's only one person that runs the show. There's only one wheel on the bus at the University of Kentucky, and the driver is Coach Pitino.
And he will become just the 10th coach in NCAA Division I history to take 2 different schools to the Final Four. The last to do it was Lou Henson, who took New Mexico State in 1970 and Illinois 18 years or 19 years later to the Final Four.
The last time he went to the Final Four with Providence, he had that tragic incident of his baby dying.
But you know, sometimes the man upstairs, you never erase that tragedy, but you have happier times in life, don't you?
Yeah, you know what I liked on Wednesday morning when you and I dropped by to watch their workout? His children were there at the workout.
Todd Svoboda, who's the fan favorite, comes into the game. He's gotten the biggest cheers. And going out of the game is Prickett. He is going to be, according to Pitino and the Kentucky folks, a great basketball player. 22 points and 11 rebounds for Jared Prickett, a freshman.
Maybe he'll be the next Jerry West.
I don't want to say who He could be, according to Rick Pitino. Last time I said that, you went off the deep end, but I'll have to say it again. Rick Pitino said if he really develops an outside shot, he could be another Larry Bird.
Leave me alone with Larry Bird, will you, Dick? Larry Bird. There's no other Larry Birds. I've been saying that for years and years. I remember with Billy Packer when Larry Bird was a junior at Terre Haute, Indiana, saying, Billy, baby, that guy's the best.
You'll have to take it up with Rick Pitino. That's the coach's opinion.
Well, I can't argue with him on basketball because basketball is his life. He wants his team to be happy, and I said to him the other day, I said, Coach Rick, happiness with you is winning basketball games.
Travis Ford, 19 points and 5 assists. This is a blue and white celebration here in Charlotte. Shepard in the game for Florida State, and Wells with the lay-in with 45 plus seconds remaining. 102-81. So for Florida State now, they have Shepard, Carroll, Hands, Robinson, and Wells. Kentucky has also emptied their bench. Brasso is in the ball game, along with Amino Timberlake, Brady, who's hit a couple of threes, Svoboda, and Delp. Travis Ford will get a chance to play in a Final Four. Big season after the lackluster year with the injury problems. Here is Hands. Svoboda, Delp with a follow. And the final seconds of the game. Off the rim.
4 games, Dick, and 4 no contests.
And the final seconds. Here's Svoboda with the shot. Svoboda hits a 3. And so for Al McGuire and Jim Gray, this is Dick Stockton saying so long from Charlotte. The final score, Kentucky 106, Florida State 81, and Kentucky moves into the Final Four, where they will join the other 3 regional winners next Saturday in New Orleans. And we'll be back with Pat O'Brien from our studio in New York when we return.
The available anti-lock brakes on the new Geo Prism can help you negotiate driving hazards during hard braking. And every new Prism comes with a driver's side airbag, which we'd also be happy to demonstrate. But you've seen all that before. Besides, why ruin such a beautiful car? Get to know the newest Geo Prism, at your Chevrolet Geo dealers.
Today, 2 airlines share one vision: to join the world together as never before. Announcing the global alliance of U.S. Air and British Airways. Now, there are no boundaries.
For many, the search for the world's greatest tuna sandwich ends when they discover Subway's Tuna Sub right here at Subway. One taste of the combination of our famous fresh-baked bread, chunk-laid tuna, and any or all of our famous fresh-fixed fixins, and it'll hit you too. This sandwich is worthy of the title World's Greatest. And now it's an even bigger deal with a special $1.89 price. So come get hooked on the sandwich that's a tuna fish wish come true.
The 6-inch tuna sub, $1.89 for a limited time at Subway.
If I want to keep playing baseball, I'm going to have to keep working. There's no off-season anymore. And when I get sore, I take Advil. To last, you stick with what works.
Advil, advanced medicine for pain.
I feel Danorex tingling on this side, nothing on the head and shoulder side. I love that tingle, so I tried Danorex for my dandruff. It really came through. The flaking stopped, my scalp doesn't itch.
Danorex with conditioners, the serious dandruff shampoo.
I've switched to Danorex.
To order the 1993 NCAA Championship highlight video, call 1-800-999-VIDEO. That's 1-800-999-VIDEO.
Less disappointing. Just like Punk, except it's cars. Well, I just thought of another analogy.
The Lone Ranger.
Expect basketball?
Dudley, coming in April.
They are savoring the moment down in Charlotte as Kentucky becomes the very first team this year to advance to the Final Four, and Rick Pitino is indeed a happy man, savoring the moment there. Our next stop on the road to the Final Four is St. Louis. Good game. Indiana, Kansas, a 1 and a 2 seed. Folks, basketball continues here on CBS after a word from your very own local station.